Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spock Rancho with other somewhat of Mutant Monday, and today we'll be looking at chapters 12 and 13 of Ten of Swords. Where we'd left off, the both the Krakoan sword wielders and the sword wielders of Araco had arrived at the another world at the I can't remember what it's freaking called. The Starlight Citadel, and the leader of Araco was revealed. The one wearing the Annihilation Mask of Amenth was revealed to be none other than Genesis, Apocalypse's wife. And so, chapter 12, X-Men number 14, focuses on these two reunited lovers. Apocalypse is standing in a garden at the in the Starlight Citadel when Genesis, not wearing the Annihilation Mask, comes before him. And they talk. She's heard things, but she also opts to tell him things. A mutant's history of Araco and the fallen world of Amenth. So we get the quick version about the war, the mutants that went forward into Araco or fight Amenth, and then what happened and the civilization they wrought, and the fact that they rode out and, well, turns out things had not gone the way they hoped they would. Eventually, Genesis' Iska, the sister of Genesis, would in fact betray mutant kind for Amenth. The mutants' first defeat would actually be at the hands of one of their own, rather than at the Amenthi. Yeah, but Genesis ended up going to Amenth. An offer was made by Annihilation, and so the two of them dueled, and Genesis won. And lost, as the winner gets the helm, and the helm controls the wearer. For a century, she refused to wear it for a year. For at least 100 years. And then eventually though, she did put on the mask. And somehow, Apocalypse seems to be of the opinion that Genesis can fight the mask, making her the strongest person that he knows. But she claims that no, she doesn't fight the mask. She fights for it. No one is strong enough to fight the mask. But she explains that she wants Krakoa. So we get the three laws of Araco: make more mutants, destroy our enemies, defend this broken land. And a brief write-up. The mutants of Araco, prisoners in their own land. When Araco fell to the horde of annihilation, the millions of mutants inside its walls found themselves trapped in the vassal mutant state with no chance of escape, resistance, or insurrection. Vile school omnipaths were used to uncover militant thought, and vile stealth suppressors were embedded within Araco to depower and diffuse any mutant uprisings. Abyssal prisons were constructed and manned by the summoners of both Amenth and Araco, the latter revealing the corruptive nature of that station and their undying allegiance not to the Golden Helm or the mutant state, but to the expansion of their own power and twisted religion. What is to come? Idle, daughter of Idle, son of Idle, seer of this generation, gave one last prophecy before she was silenced by a vile engineer. The words were as follows: "Only under the black moon will the two become one. A white light will judge them, and a red land will see them split forever. Make of that what you will." Interesting. And so, next we come to this damn book will get a go around bag. Chapter 13 in Marauders, number 14. So first off, it turns out that there used to be a grand feast for the sword bearers at the Starlight Citadel. State dinner in the Starlight Citadel's Hall of Fallen Banners when the birds sing the hour of 8. The menu is as follows. We have a amuse bush, ghost fig dry aged in the crooked market during the devil winds flowing from Blightspoke. Savalothian blood wine, fermented from the extracts of the nobles. Served as similar harvested from the crystalline bones of lunar bats. First course: a sea leaf salad harvested from the shadow trench and braised in the urine of Orkina, the giant squid. Second course: scarabs stuffed with a cumin spiced farro brain mash and a wine reduction. Third course: chef's tasting of raw delicacies originating from the Dryador Sea. Each bite is the last of its kind. Fourth course: the horned beast, served whole and cooked to perfection, dry aged for 3 moons while being serenaded by Opaluna Saturnite's personal choir. Fifth course: chilled creme of Neptune's glaciers with honey drizzled fey wings. Eat of my bread, drink of my wine. Before you die, together we dine. Quote accredited to Saturnine. The issue begins with Logan narrating, explaining that he hates parties, and claiming that he and his friends are being fattened up for the slaughter. The only thing that he can't complain about is the booze, though, as it'll put the wind in his sails for the nasty bit of business he's got to do that night. Outside the Starlight Citadel, the sword bearers are meeting each other. For some, it seems to go well. As Death and Storm seem to connect quite well, as shown by the cover of the issue. War and Storm, not so much. Same with Bay the Blood Moon and Cypher. Also, Magic and Gorgon are trying to suss out the weaknesses of their opposing combatants. Inside the Hall of Fallen Banners, the sword bearers, as well as otherworld luminaries, gather. Including Jim Jaspers of the Crooked Market, Lady Roma of the Fae, Vesperide, Colony Queen of Hot Hive, Famine, Regent of the former Kingdom of Dryador. Famine, however, Famine states that Arakko belongs to Dryador and is no longer Dryador, and in fact is the first of many such conquests, and he honestly wishes to dispense with the introductions as he wishes to be gone from the Starlight Citadel as quickly as possible. Logan gives Brian Braddock some grief, basically saying, hey man, all you had to do was let Saturn have her way with you. That's all. all of this could have been prevented. No, 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 no. And hey, I get it. You're married. I get it. I've been married. You know? But you know who hadn't been married? Cable, Doug, Ileana. Any of them, and if they die out here, that's that for them. However, he is he returns to things while Gorgon and Magic continue their scouting of their opponents. Apparently, War is right-handed. Death favors his left side. Pog or Pog will be a problem, though Gorgon does state that every beast has a softness beyond its armor. Magic believes that Redroot's shrubbery hides other eyes. However, neither can figure out if Iska favors her right or left, So, they test her. She's ambidextrous. And actually, Iska thinks that this contest is going to be fun. And neither Magic nor Gorgon knows what her soft side is. Gorgon suggests to Magic that she kill as many of the sword bearers of Morocco as quick as she can, for he fears that Iska's sword will break them. Later on, before dinner begins, Storm and Death share a dance in the basically a dance floor that is also seems to serve as an ocean floor. Basically, with her explaining her own history with death as a concept to the literal horseman of death. Unlike many of the X-Men, she actually hasn't. Storm really hasn't really died. I don't think ever. There's never been a point of, oh no, Storm's dead. 3 months later, oh, Storm's not dead anymore. No, I mean. Or if it seemed maybe she was dead, it was definitively defined as a, no, she's not. She never was in the first place. But when the dance is over, she also explains that that dance is the closest she will allow death to be to her. So dinner is then served, so everyone takes their seats. Saturnine notes that clearly Logan's mind is burdened with something. So there's no reason for him to hold his tongue. And he's seated next to War, who surreptitiously sprinkles something on Logan's food. But Logan states that, things don't have to be like this, Sarah just take what she wants. She doesn't need to create all this collateral damage. And she tells him that, you look at things very small perspective. You honestly expect to understand what's, the reasons for the changes that are to come. He cuts her off, saying, just, hey, quit. Just say what you mean. There's a lot of death ahead. Saturnine claims that she said exactly what she means, that death is the great change and everything dies. So Wolverine pops his claws and tells her those are some famous last words as he runs her through. The issue then ends with a quote credited to Wolverine. I'll tell you what joins us all. Everything dies, you can figure out how to kill it. Now, I did skip over a bit of prose from the notebook of Jim Jaspers. Dear Eustace, please see my remarks below. If you could send the first two entries to the appropriate parties and copy the third into my personal journal, I would appreciate it. Also, kindly set a few days aside in my calendar of this tournament so that I can have some uninterrupted time to work on my memoirs. Note to the vintners. The Sabalathian blood wine was not the vintage we discussed. Fortunately, no one turned their nose up at it, but I noticed. Schedule a meeting with my office to discuss recompense. Note to the fishmongers. The cuisine from the Shadow Trench does not ordinarily travel well, but the preparation was sublime. Eustace, send my kindest regards. Personal remarks. To hear the Braddock's accents almost makes me nostalgic for my days charting the course of history at number 10. I wonder how our sceptred isle and her empire are faring without me. Eustace, can you fetch some of the papers, both the broadsheet and the red tops? It might be helpful for my writing holiday. The Wolverine is simply a bore. I've watched him swill our finest intoxicants like a tramp guzzling cider on a park bench. I look forward to the day when he has served a measure of comeuppance instead. To be fair, I think Wolverine's probably had about, a dozen or so full-course meals of comeuppance, but hey, I'm biased. Similarly, the descendants of Genesis and Apocalypse may be quite the thing on the field of battle, but conversationalists they are not. The exception is Rhetoric of the Forest. She has a way with a phrase, and in many languages besides. If I could bottle her abilities, I might consider a return to politics. But alas, I suspect her side will sweep the tourney, and with it Krakoa and Earth. Eustace, it occurs to me that, before Earth is crushed beneath the heel of these Iraqi brutes, there are some people and places I would like to save from my old home before they're razed. To that end, would you summon the glassmiths of Madwerk to inquire about one of their special captivity chambers? Find out the largest bottle they make and what volume the interior holds. There are several pubs I should like to tuck away in the stair cupboard if possible. Ta! That said, if Krakoa survives the tournament, and my odds on that have dropped precipitously after sizing up their stock, but if they do, their young island nation will doubtless go from strength to strength with, I'm sure, planet-sized repercussions. Let's see. And that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. We should be back, I want to say, tomorrow with a Building the Team video. This week we'll be doing something a little bit different with the roundup to not have it as stretched out as it was this past week. Then we got something special planned for Friday, which I think you guys will all get a kick out of. And yeah. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.